So teriyaki pork. So this teriyaki part of this recipe will kind of work with any meat. If you wanted to replace the pork with chicken, maybe the name of this video should be teriyaki anything. I don't know, let me know in the comments. But if you wanted to do chicken, you could do chicken. If you wanted to do tofu, you could probably do tofu, I'm guessing. If you wanted to do beef fillet, you could do it with beef fillet. But the reason I like these pork tenderloins is because for whatever reason, they're really cheap at the moment in supermarkets and butchers in Australia. So it's super tender, doesn't take long to cook, and they're really easy to prepare. All you need to basically do is take it. This stuff here is fat, which is fine, you can eat that. I mean, you can eat it all, but this here is what we call silver skin, and you kind of want to take that off, and that is only because it's chewy. Perfectly safe to eat, just probably wouldn't want to. So to remove silver skin, just put your like a boning knife or a pointy knife just underneath the silver skin, slightly turn your knife up, so you're running across the silver skin, and take it off, just like that. So you go around and take any silver skin that you see, just take it off. Sometimes it gets to these like joint parts here. You'll have the head of the fillet. It's the same on a beef fillet. You're going to have the head of it, which is kind of like a double point. And sometimes it can get weird. Sometimes the silver skin will run down in here. Don't be afraid to kind of split that head off. And then that way you can get to this little bit of silver skin under here a bit easier. You can be as particular about this or as unparticular as you like. You know, like all this stuff here, which is technically still silver skin, you could probably leave that on there. It's not particularly thick silver skin. You can also, if you want to, take like all the fat off like that as well. I don't mind a little bit of fat on it anyway. Then we just want to cut this into medallions. So roughly kind of this size. Just like, what's that? 1.5 centimeters-ish. The only reason you want them that is so that they kind of sit on the plate nicely. Kind of cut it in half, and then half of that will fit in your mouth, no problem at all. Perfectly honest, I'm a bit of a gannet. I'll probably just shove the whole thing in my mouth. So we'll slice that up, and then we'll deal to this other one quickly, and then I'll show you how to cook it and make a real simple teriyaki sauce. Come on in, Ben. Get some things. Oh, he's curious. Ben's questioning my judgment.
Yeah, 3 centimeters.
No, that way, you plonker.
That way?
2 centimeters.
2 centimeters.
But what about that one?
Let's have a look. Yeah, 2 centimeters.
Hold on, come back. I'll squeeze it now.
Hard to tell. Okay, I've got a large stainless steel pan over the heat. Got some neutral flavored oil in there. I'm just going to bring that up to temperature. You want it pretty hot. You got to put a lot of pork on this. So if that's not hot enough, temperature's going to drop, and you're just going to boil your meat. So you can be as precise or as cowboy as you want with that. You can take your time, do it in small batches, or you can just kind of get it in and get it done. Like, I know I always bang on. I'm like, oh, if you want good sear, you've got to do it in batches and stuff like that, which is absolutely true. But I am also a realist and understand that people have lives. And this is a classic kind of weeknight dish that I think you can kind of break some rules to get dinner on the table quicker. If you choose to. If you want to do it properly, then go right ahead. But I think if you just get this properly hot, and you don't just dump everything in at once, so you give it time for the pan to come up to temperature, I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Get a little sauce stuff ready. So we've got a couple of spring onions. We've got 3 cloves of garlic, some sake, some mirin, some sesame oil, some honey, and some soy sauce. And that's a basic teriyaki sauce. It's not that complicated. You don't need to buy it. You can just make it yourself. It's much cheaper. And you can control the sugar. So I prefer to put honey in mine instead of sugar. And that way you're not having as much sugar if that's something that you find concerning. So I like to start from the center and then work your way out. Why? Because the center's the hottest. So make sure you put the side that you salted down first. And then we can season the top again. Good. While we're sealing that off, we can get our spring onions sliced. So we just want the whites sliced separately to the green part. We do want it reasonably small. This is the white part's going to go into the sauce itself kind of pretty early on. We'll cook it out a little bit. And the green part is kind of going to be used at the end kind of to garnish it. So it won't have heaps of kind of heat through it. By heat I mean temperature. So I call these spring onions, but they're called different things all around the world. Scallions, green onions, green shallots. And we'll just keep our green parts nice and fine as well. You can see the pork's getting some good colour on it. Once you got a little bit of colour on your pork, you can flip it over, get some colour on the other side. If it is sticking, it's not released yet, don't worry, just let it sit there and do its thing. It'll release when it's ready. All right, we're gonna get the garlic ready. Just crush it and then run your knife through it. You could also put it through a microplane, which is usually my preferred method, but sometimes I don't want the extra dishes, so I'll just do this. You do want it reasonably fine though, because it is going to go into our sauce. You kind of want to taste the garlic too in this dish. So the smaller you cut garlic, the stronger it gets. So if you leave garlic relatively large and put them in sauces, or you do things like confit garlic as whole cloves, you'll notice that they get kind of quite sweet and less pungent. When you add garlic kind of later in the cooking process and you keep it really fine, you're starting to kind of break down cell walls at a really molecular level, and that makes it quite strong. Obviously, if you cook it out for a long time at this point, it softens slightly. But that's why if you have like toum or like proper Spanish aioli, it can be quite strong. Once we've got some color on our pork, the first batch, we'll pull this out, we'll let the heat the pan get hot again, and then we'll add the rest of it through to get some good color. Don't try and, all this color, all this kind of golden stuff in the pan, that's all flavor. Don't worry, that'll all get kind of used up when we deglaze the pan. And that's kind of what you're looking for in an ideal world. If you had that on all sides, which you could definitely get, you just probably have to do that in 3 or 4 batches. If you did this amount of pork in that pan to that color, you're going to risk really overcooking it. So kind of said it in the past too, I prefer to have properly cooked meat and less of a crust than the other way around. I think when you
especially something like a pork loin or a beef fillet, when it's really lean and you overcook it, it just starts to get pretty nasty. Okay, this pan's nice and hot. I haven't added any extra oil in there because there's plenty in there from the last cook. We'll just give those a couple of minutes. While we're waiting, we can start making our little side salad. Very simple. So this is my favorite single-use kitchen gadget there is. It's a cabbage grater. But if you don't have one of these, you could just use a normal peeler, would work, but these things work incredibly well. So we're just doing a real simple, I guess you could call it a coleslaw, but it's more just a cabbage salad, I guess. So really finely shaved cabbage, green cabbage, and I love eating cabbage like this. I think it's delicious. And then we're simply going to, oh no, I made a mess. Season it with some rice wine vinegar, a little bit of sesame oil, some toasted black and white sesame seeds, save some for the top as well, a good pinch of salt. Toss that really well. And it feels pointless at this point when you're tossing the salad, but it's really important to keep going. You've only got a little bit of sesame oil because sesame oil is really strong, obviously. So to make sure that you get good even coverage of that sesame oil and that vinegar, you'll toss it for quite a while. And then, just flip this. This is what's exciting me the most about this pan is actually the color of this fond. It's looking fantastic. Why did I just become Irish? I'm not sure. I played golf with a couple of Irish gentlemen yesterday. Maybe that's why. Okay, at this point, we are going to add all this other pork back and any juice that's come off it. That'll start deglazing the pan. Then we're going to add our sake, which will really deglaze the pan. And our mirin, basically everything. Our honey, which will take a year. Sesame oil. And of course the soy sauce. You can just use a Kikkoman, any kind of standard soy sauce. If you don't have a Japanese soy sauce like Kikkoman floating around, you've just got Chinese soy sauce, like a light soy sauce. Even a dark soy sauce will work perfectly fine. Ooh. Okay, now we're stirring this because we just want all those liquids to emulsify together and just become one. And I've actually completely forgotten to do a step there, but that's okay. It'll be different in the recipe, but don't stress. So what I should have done is sauteed my spring onion whites and my garlic off first, but I haven't done that. But not to stress. I'm going to put it in the middle here. We'll cook it out a little bit before we keep stirring it through. But I do suggest you do it how it says in the recipe. But that's what back of house is all about. We don't take takes, one take. If I make a mistake, I own to it, I own up to it, and we keep going. Because that's real life. Mistakes happen in kitchen, and sometimes it's worth letting people know how to fix them. It's also a great excuse for me to say things like this so that I feel less bad about myself at night. I make mistakes so you don't have to. Don't laugh, Ben. Okay. So we've got a little salad going. This here, we're just trying to reduce the sauce and get it a bit glazy. It'll take a couple of minutes, not too long. And then we've got our spring onion greens, which I won't forget to put on at the end. Watch, guarantee I do forget now. The only other thing that I like to serve with this dish is just some nice cucumber slices. Just cut at the angle, just nice, a bit of freshness. Also an easy way to get some veggies in your kids or your husband or your wife's diet.
Yum. I'll go find some rice, let that reduce, and then we'll plate it up. I can't believe I forgot the onions and garlic. It's been going for about 5 minutes now, and this will happen really quickly at this point. It'll go from feeling quite loose to being quite tacky really quickly. So just kind of stay on top of it at this point to keep stirring it. Right at the end, we are going to add the spring onion greens to it. Leave a little bit for the garnish at the end on the plate. And Katelyn has requested, if you don't know, Katelyn looks after the website for me. So, well, for us. So if you didn't know, we have a website. It's andy-cooks.com, and that's where we house all the recipes. Go check it out. Great inspiration there. You put them if you want pork or lunch or dinner or whatever, and there'll be a recipe. Oh, all the recipes will come up for you. She's requested a photo of this in the dish. So we will stop for a second once this is looking good. Take that photo, and then I'll come back to you, and we'll continue. Welcome to the world of recipe development on YouTube. Okay, this is looking really good, but it's very, very close. At this point, just get some spring onion greens through there. Let that reduce that last little bit. Take a quick snap, we'll be back. All right, got some steamed short grain rice, kind of Japanese style rice. If you just had jasmine, that's also fine, but I do like the short grain rice, it's really nice. I'm going to turn the heat off here. Sear some of our pork up. Drizzle over some sauce. Little salad garnish. A few more spring onions. Slices of cucumber. There we go. Teriyaki pork, steamed rice, little cabbage salad. How good. A few more sesame seeds on there for good luck. Have a taste. I'm actually going to save that one and give it to Katelyn, so I'm going to be a grub and just eat from the pan. Yeah, it's juicy. Sweet, salty, savory. What's not to like about that? It's got no spice at all, so the kids will like it. If you do want a little bit of spice, feel free to add some taragoshi, little Japanese chili flakes on top. Delicious. Thanks for watching, legends. Like this video. See you next week. Peace. Well, hang on. I'll go get the person you really want to see. Come on, everyone wants to see you. I had to wake him up for this. It's the most handsome man in the world. It's Duck. Say hello.